Okay, I want to cover a heartbreaking chapter in Sri Lanka's history. This particular one is the expulsion of Muslims from the north of Sri Lanka in 1990. To make this video, I used research by DBS Jeyaraj, Farzana, Haniffa, and Ameer. So, in 1990, the LTTE forcibly expelled 72 to 75,000 Muslims, the entire Muslim population from all 5 districts in the northern province of Sri Lanka. They started the expulsion process in Chavakacheri on October 15, 1990, and ended this expulsion phase by October 30th. How were the Muslims told to leave? Depending on the district, some were asked to leave their homes within a span of 2 hours. Some in other districts within a span of 4 days. Plus, in the east, over 12,700 Muslim families were chased out by the LTTE. Some were told they could take only rupees 2,000 with them. Others, like the Jaffna Muslims, were told they could take only rupees 150 with them. So let's talk about the impact. All the Muslims in the north were in shock. Most lost everything. For example, the Muslims living in Mannar Island were ordered to leave. They were instructed one morning during that October that they should report to the local LTTE office to finalize the procedures of expulsion. These helpless Muslims prepared to do so and began packing their bags and laying them in the fronts of their houses. Later, the LTTE invaded Erukkalampidi, this is a town in Mannar Island, and seized all these belongings that were packed by the Muslims by force. In fact, the Jaffna Muslims were extremely shocked when the LTTE came for them, since there were no tensions among their communities in that area. How they were forced to leave and how they were forced out of Jaffna is sad. On October 30th, 1990, the Muslims were ordered to begin packing by loudspeaker. Initially, they were not told of any restrictions on the things they could carry. So people packed clothes, valuables, jewelry, and money. Buses, vans, and lorries were made available for their transport. The Muslims streaming out of their homes were now given a fresh order. They were asked to queue up at a specific junction, and as DBS Jeyaraj writes, as the hapless people lined up, they were in for a terrible shock. Male and female cadres of the LTTE began demanding that the Muslim people hand over all the money, belongings, and jewelry to them. Each person would be allowed only rupees 150 and only one set of clothes. Feeble protests were raised, but the brandishing of sophisticated weapons and threats in aggressive tones quickly silenced them. All the money and documents, including title deeds to property, checkbooks, and national identity cards, were confiscated. Women and girls were stripped of jewelry. Some women LTTE cadres were brutal, even pulling out ear studs with blood spurting in the earlobes. Today, many scholars say that this wasn't just an expulsion by the LTTE, it was ethnic cleansing. Why did this terrible thing happen though? Why did the LTTE suddenly decide to expel all the Muslims from the north? To summarize very briefly, towards the late 80s, the LTTE began seeing Muslims as enemies for 3 big reasons. First, they thought Muslims worked with the government, like the government appointed Muslim home guards who fought the LTTE. Second, the political party representing the Muslims at that time opposed the LTTE's Tamil Elam dream, fearing that they would become a minority within a minority. And third, the LTTE wanted full control of the north and east and feared Muslims might be spies, transferring information to the government. It's a dark moment in our history. I keep imagining that exodus, families leaving in droves with hardly anything to take with them. Their lives and hard-earned wealth turned upside down in a moment. Normal northern Muslims suddenly internally displaced persons. It's been more than 30 years since 1990. Lots of these families settled in the Putlam Anuradhapura and Colombo districts. I'm not very certain if all of them have been allowed to return back to their homes now that the war is long over. But I'll be studying that soon and sharing that as well. In the meanwhile, that's the story of the 1990 Muslim expulsion in Sri Lanka. Let me know if this helped you learn something new.